Thank you for staying with us. From the point of setting an agenda, let's look at this matter of health. This is like setting an agenda in the health sector, eradication of poverty. Is it possible? I mean, not poverty, malaria. We've talked. I mean, we talked about so many times how many people malaria is killing across the world and in Africa in particular. But there are different organizations that have decided to do one thing or the other. Some are still working on it. Some have started. There were those who came out distributing mosquito nets to homes free of charge, and all manner of things. There's even a vaccine, this is out there, that's supposed to help stem the spread of malaria. But how workable is all of this? To look at this, the Ned Nwoko Foundation is proposing a way to eradicate malaria in Africa. And they're here to tell us more about that. We have joining us from our Abuja studio, Adeni Ifetayo, who is of the Media and Publicity, the Ned Nwoko Foundation, and Chukwuebuka Anyaduba, who's the project coordinator. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, let's start with you, Chukwuebuka. Tell us about this. Why eradication of malaria? Are there no other things that should be eradicated or that could be looked at?
You see, malaria is something that affects everyone. I believe that in every family must have witnessed malaria death or serious issues about malaria. So we feel that these are issues that are fundamental to the society in terms of health. You know, malaria drugs is said to be the most selling drugs in Nigeria and Africa. So eradicating malaria in Africa is very key. And of course, we want to start with Nigeria. So it's something that affects everyone, basically, in terms of health-wise.
How do you intend to go about this? Nigeria is a massive country. So, I mean, break it down for us, Mr. Ifetayo.
All right. Thank you for that question. You know, Nigeria is so crucial to this project because so many people, they can't even afford the normal basic health. And we are looking at two approaches, you know, to tackle the complete eradication of malaria in Nigeria. The first one, we are looking at a long-term approach. We want to fund a research that we need a vaccine for malaria. And also the short-term approach is that we want every individual to take charge of their environment. You know, we want to encourage government to declare a national fumigation day, maybe a day or a week, that this thing needs to be done simultaneously. And because if you decide to fumigate your house, the mosquito may choose to run to the next compound. Maybe after a while, the next neighbor chooses to fumigate his own house, and they will come back. So we're still back to square one. But what we are saying at Prince Ned Nwoko Foundation is that we want to encourage the government, the government agency to partner with us that we must fumigate Nigeria.
Now, talking about fumigating Nigeria, I mean, you're talking about a massive country, a country with a population of over 200 million. How would you achieve this? How is it even possible?
Fumigate the entire nation.
Yeah, let's Ayaduba, please.
Okay, yes. It sounds funny, but it's actually very realistic. Let me break it down. Malaria is being caused by mosquitoes, yeah? Now, if you look at, for example, in Abuja, there are at least, at most, 5 breeding spaces for mosquitoes. You know, this is based on research. Now, those breeding spaces in the whole of Abuja, let's say 5 to 7, those breeding spaces in the whole of Abuja are where most of the mosquitoes come out from. They breed. So we intend to fumigate Nigeria through what we call the larviciding. Okay. Now, mosquitoes lay eggs, hundreds, 50s, 200s. So in those breeding spaces, you can have at as high as 10,000, 100,000 eggs, larvae. Now, if we are able to identify those key breeding spaces, we can actually larvicide What I mean by larviciding is killing the larvae so they don't, metamorphosize into mosquitoes. So those areas that have high density of the larvae, when they metamorphosize into the mosquitoes, the adult mosquito, they spread across. So if we're able to cut down, identify those key areas and kill the larvae, they don't develop further, they're not going to get to the stage of carrying the mosquito parasite. Do you understand? So now we're left with the ones that have dispersed to various locations. So we fumigate the environment. For example, everybody comes up, fumigate the environment. You fumigate your homes. I mean, fumigate everywhere. It's possible. So we are partnering with some international organizations and local organizations as well in Nigeria to decipher the right chemicals that we can use for these fumigations that are less harmful or not harmful at all to the human being. So it is very, very possible, but it's going to be done segment by segment.
Okay,
Yes.
when you talk about doing it segment by segment, you just talked about you fumigate your house and the mosquitoes move to the other compound. But now you're talking about doing it segment by segment. So you fumigate here, maybe all the mosquitoes kind of like move to the other part of the other segment you're not fumigating. What's the guarantee that when you're done, they will not return?
No, the idea is that it should be done simultaneously.
Okay.
Everybody fumigates at once. So if you're going to be indoors, you fumigate your exterior. Everybody does it at once. If you're outside, you fumigate your homes indoors. So it has to be
achieve
done
this nationwide?
simultaneously.
How do you intend to achieve this nationwide?
So we are proposing a law at the National Assembly that can enable us to achieve that. If there's a law that says everybody must fumigate their homes nationwide, it's possible. There was a time Abuja was fumigated at that point. A lot of countries have achieved it. Morocco today had nationwide fumigation, and there is no mosquitoes in Morocco. So it is very possible with the right apparatus and partnership.
Okay, but the other side of it will be the amount of funds that will be required to fumigate an entire nation or to even eradicate malaria. Let's begin with Nigeria before we talk about Africa. How do you intend to achieve this funds-wise?
All right. Talking about funding, it's just for us to start a state at a time. It's not that we're going to select some places as a sample. Let's see what it's going to cost us. Then also we are looking forward to partner with some foreign donors, even though our chairman, who said he has decided to drop anything he will require, though it's not something he can do alone. And that is why we still employ some foreign donors, some people who have passion about malaria, that it doesn't become a public health issue in Nigeria. So when we look at that, then we can now know that, okay, we have 36 states. Okay, if this state so big with this population, with this chemical that would need there to be used, cost us X, Y, Z a month. So for us to go over the whole of Nigeria is going to cost us so much. So we are not saying we are going to do it one at a time, but with an enabling environment and a right partnership, I think something that is achievable.
I agree with you that it's achievable, but there are still questions about, challenges about, would those partners even see this picture that you're seeing? Are there some partners that have come on board already, and are they buying this picture of the entire nation being fumigated as one? And then the way you're going about it looks like you're going to say the entire Africa should be fumigated on a particular day at a particular time.
The thing is that they say nobody can blow your trumpet for you. You have to start it. You have to do it before others can join you. And that is what we want to do in Prince Ned Nwoko Foundation. We don't want to lay down until people comes. Let's start it. We know, in fact, we receive a call today. Even I will let you know the Nigerians Army, because they are going to partner with us. For example, they said not only fighting insurgents in the Northeast, that one of the challenges our troop has is that malaria, forest is a breeding place for malaria, that if they see what we intend to do and they're ready to partner with us. And also, I want to let you know that what we intend to do is just to bring the right partnership on board. And people have been calling. We've received some call. We were in Burkina Faso about 2 weeks ago. We met with the president. some Ministry of Environment, Ministry of Health, they are ready to partner with us. Some people who have been doing research along this line have already decided that they are going to show us what they have done so far to make sure the job is easy. So we just want to set the ball rolling. We believe the right partnership will come along. But if we just decided that if we don't have the right partnership, we are not going to start, then we will still be talking about it in the next some years to come. But we just want to, give it a heads up. Let's start it, and we believe because it's a laudable project, and people is going to come along, to support us.
Staying with you, Ifeta, you're the media and publicity man. So tell us, in terms of awareness, how aware is the country about this program of yours?
Yes, we tend to kick off on the 17th when we return from Antarctica, and we tend to use social media, influencer, celebrity, even some of the top-notch two artists in Nigeria right now. They are partner with us. They are going to even do a drop. They've done a drop. They are going to do a special song. Nigerians, we love music. And we want to use them to pass the message across that it is time that everybody, hold on to their environment, because if you don't kill malaria, malaria is ready to kill you, regardless of your background, where you come from, whether you are rich or poor. Malaria doesn't look at that. So also we want to use the media houses. We want to partner with them. There's going to be a press conferences. There's going to be a retreat. We are going to have a local ambassador from local government. That's why we partner with Supervisor of Health at the local government, Commissioner of Health and Environment at the state level, and also Ministry of Health and Environment at national level. So all these things have been put in place, and so we'll continue to do sensitization program on radio, on TV, telling people about it's high time you own up to your own environment.
Mr. Yaduba, the question I would like to ask is, why are you starting your awareness program in Antarctica? And I understand the chairman of the foundation is going to Antarctica. Why are you starting the awareness to create awareness from an expedition in Antarctica? What about an expedition in one of the African countries?
Okay, let me explain that. Maybe you got the wrong impression. Now, the visionary Prince Ned Nwoko is going on an expedition to Antarctica. Okay, Antarctica, if you know about Antarctica, is an extremely cold region, the smallest continent in Africa. And he is going to be the first Nigerian to ever visit the South Pole in Antarctica. Now, people go on expedition for various reasons. So he is going on this expedition to use the media angle and attention this expedition is going to create to drive the awareness for the project. So he is not going to inside Antarctica to create the awareness. He is using the expedition as a media angle to create awareness for the malaria eradication.
So, and you think that will be very effective?
Of course, it's going to be very effective. I mean, people, for example, that someone crossed the Sahara Desert and wanted to use that for an expedition for an awareness. There was a Nigerian, Jibuno, from Delta State, once went on expedition. People go on expedition for different causes. So I believe it is going to be effective. And Antarctica is from the lowest point of the earth, and it's like an entrance to Africa. So it is very, very symbolic that he makes that trip.
Okay. But besides that, are there other expeditions, other trips around Africa that are being planned to create more awareness?
Yes.
So what we want to do, like Mr. Nee said, the project is of two pillars: the vaccine, the research for vaccine, and then the fumigation of Nigerian environmental cleanup. So we intend to go across Africa, the countries that has high malaria issues, and have a meeting with all the ministers of health in each of these countries. So we are raising stakeholders in African societies. We're raising ambassadors. We're raising drivers in African societies. And then the fund for the research is about $750,000. And it's going to be assessed by 5 African universities. And each of them will have about $150 to raise researchers for this research for the vaccine, for malaria vaccine. So it's an African thing. It's all-encompassing. It's a huge project that affects every part of Africa. But then we have to start from Nigeria. You know, the foundation tends to achieve a lot of feat in Nigeria and then use Nigeria as a platform to reach other African countries.
Okay, Mr. Ifeta, while we're waiting for the campaign to kick off, what should Nigerians be doing in terms of helping to eradicate malaria?
Well, what they need to do is to take care of your environment and thank God for those people who have been distributing net, mosquito repellent. But it is now, as an individual, to take care of your environment, that because you must not give a mosquito a breathing space. And if you do that, the effect is going to, almost 600,000 people died worldwide of malaria cases, and Nigeria is have the larger percentage of that figure. So that is why we're going to let them know if this thing can be preventable or eradicated. Please, it is something that you need to do, not until you wait for government. It is time you take responsibility of your environment, of your land, of what comes into your home and how you handle your environment. That is what Nigerians should be doing now. Not government must do everything for us. Like former American president said that don't think of what your country can do for you. You should think of what you can do for your country. So if it is to eradicate malaria and you play your part in it, I think that would be a fantastic thing for Nigerians to do at this moment.
Mr. Ifetayo, what day did you have in mind to propose for the National Fumigation Day?
What we have in mind is that we want this thing to be done simultaneously. And if there's no backing of law, Nigeria as we are, maybe until there's a strong law backing something, we tend to do it our own, like our chairman was a former member of the Parliament, House of Rep, and that is going to use that contact to tell them, look, if we can make a law that, okay, on a certain day, or a week, every Nigerian is expected fumigate your environment. That's exterior now. Maybe it will be subsidized by the government or local government or state government, or a certain day, or from, let's say, 8 a.m. till about 10 a.m. You must be indoor. The government, they are going to spread a chemical around our environment. Or a certain day, you must be outdoor for 2 hours, fumigate your home, your interior, so that we can have a clean environment. So that is why we are proposing that we must fumigate Nigeria. But to do that, it must be backed by law.
Okay, well, I have a comment here from Yusuf Abdulrahman. He says, it's not about law. It's simply about creating awareness. You can do this by partnering with all CDAs in Nigeria. That's community development areas in the country. Do you agree with that?
Yes, I agree with that. Even we are association of former local government chairman. They are working with us. They are close to the grassroots. And that's what I said. If you listen earlier, I said we are going to be partnering with a supervisor of health at the local government level and commissioner of health at the state level. So those are the key stakeholders that we're going to be partnering with, so that they tend to take the information down to the grassroots. When we are spreading the information, they're creating the awareness, they make sure it gets to the people, and the people, they are aware about it.
I heard it that time, but Abdulrahman is talking about community development areas, not necessarily local government, individuals or groups of individuals, estates and all of that. Are you thinking about that?
Okay. Yes. Is a welcome idea, and is a good point that he raised, because it's not something that we can do alone. Those are the key people that we need to take along, and we welcome them. We want them to partner with the foundation as well,
all right,
because they have a stake in this.
All right, thank you.
It's a welcome idea, yes. Thank
you. Thank you very much. We've been speaking with Adeni Ifetayo, who's a media and publicity man at the Ned Nwoko Foundation, and Chukwuebuka Anyaduba, who's the project coordinator. Thank you, gentlemen, for sharing your thoughts. Sunrise will be back in a moment. Just stay with us.